Is it PG-13 or?
Oh, we can talk about whatever, dude. Like,
Okay.
I don't hold back. I don't hold back. We can talk about whatever.
Let's go.
All right. I actually have already clicked the live button, so I
I
don't know
know.
if anyone has hopped on at this current moment. I'm about to just go ahead and share this to Instagram, so we can get this thing rolling. But what's up, guys? How are y'all doing? This is Astro Fenixx, flying into the moment yet again, radiating love as always. This is Astrology is Now, podcast number 7, and we have a special guest today. Vasuki the Spooky, PsychicVasuki, previously known as Spells Inc., a man of many names. Welcome. How about you go ahead and introduce yourself, bro?
Thank you, thank you. My name is Vasuki. I'm from Norway. I'm 27. I've been through science, mastered that, and now I'm going into spirituality.
Boom.
So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, so I just shared it to Instagram. We're live right now. Come join us. Guys, you do not want to miss this episode, okay? I guarantee you will probably be on for longer than an hour because normally my podcasts are around like 45 minutes. Telling you guys, our conversations that we have just between us, we're always like bouncing information off of each other, kind of holding each other accountable. This is definitely one of my accountability partners. Like this dude right here is
You're too
constantly
kind.
making sure that even my vocabulary is correct. It's like, no, don't say it like that. Say it like this. And like, I tell you, this dude has changed my life. Like, even though, like, I guess materially or financially, we may not be where we want to be, but we already know that
We're
we're going to make
so
a huge,
close.
and we're so close. Exactly. We're so close. But even outside of that, just the impact and the amount of change that we both want to bring to the world and are bringing to the world and will continue to bring to the world. You guys do not want to miss this because I probably will have him on in the future as well. So let me just share that. But yes, let's just hop right into it. So, just I guess to start off, what really got you into this path, like astrology and spirituality and all that stuff? You said before you were more on the science side, and then
Yeah.
kind of shifted more into like your spiritual practice. So, like, why did you make that shift and stuff, and what inspired you to become?
Um, to be completely honest, I thought that people that are controlled by emotions were fucking useless. So I was like, okay, why does people have all these emotions controlling them? And then I looked into psychology and I realized that more than half of the population um, controls their life through emotions and not through logic or the brain. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, that's a stupid design. Who, whatever god created that shit? So I started to look into it, and I realized that the heart is actually a supercomputer that communicates with the brain,
Wow.
and just that it's beyond the current science. So I was like, okay, the current science can't help me. Now I'm on my own. And then I just random people started popping up in my life. I had this guy that I connected with last August, I believe. His name is Paul Tukasoglu. He's been on a peace talk, I believe, and he told me how everything in the Bible can be seen through science, and he connected science with religion for me, and that was big because I've been an atheist for a long time. And then I got connected with somebody on Facebook that were like, "Hey, the angels told me to connect with you," and I'm like, "Okay, you got problems."
Wow.
Yeah,
It's interesting too because, for those of you guys who don't know, he's so your Aquarius sun, You're Scorpio Moon, right? And Leo
Yeah,
rising.
that's correct.
Potent mix, and you can definitely see where the scientific drive kind of comes in with that Aquarius energy. But it's funny because Aquarius supposedly rules astrology too. So it's like, as someone who's pretty emotional myself, I'm a Pisces moon. I can't say that most of the time I'm not ruled by emotions, but I think what happens is that people get swept away by their emotions. And I think that's the
Yeah,
danger of it. There has to be some sort, we have emotions and we have logic. We're supposed to have both. We're supposed to use both, but sometimes people use emotion when they should be applying logic and then vice versa. But I'm kind of in a similar boat. Like I grew up, I went to church when I was younger, but we kind of bounced around from church to church. We had a couple of churches that we stayed at for, longer periods of time, but we kind of bounced around and shit. And it got to the point where I was just sort of like, why? I started questioning things like, why are we bouncing around? Why are we doing this? Of course, I wasn't the only one questioning it. I had the benefit of having, parents that were also starting to question things and look into like different conspiracy theories and other stuff. I watched that documentary, The Secret, for the first time when I was like, I don't know, like 11 or 12. And I was like at the beginning of like the law of attraction, new age spirituality. That's when it started to first take off. And I watched it back then. So, but I started to question things. And then probably like late high school and then a little bit afterwards, I started veering more down the path of atheism just because I didn't really believe in a lot of some of the new age hype I didn't really believe in, but also I didn't really believe in a lot of the old religious paradigms. But then my early 20s began to kick my ass. And then I really just started to have my spiritual awakening. So, and it was right around the time that I met my wife that I started to
ooh,
really wake up. It's crazy. Yeah. And my wife, Aquarius sun, Taurus moon, Gemini rising, started reflecting back to me a bunch of my own strengths and weaknesses and stuff. And that's when I kind of started my spiritual journey. I've always been kind of interested in astrology and like the signs and horoscopes, and I've always been fascinated by the stars. But around 2012, 2013, like a lot of other people, like even though I was studying and researching like religions and different conspiracy theories, and I even wrote in our school newspaper in high school about various conspiracy theories. So it was kind of interesting. I was that guy in high school. But at some point it was like, well, you're here and there is something more to this experience, so there's something behind the veil. And I think that was my Pisces moon trying to wake me the fuck up. So yeah, now I'm here making videos, and I have probably like 12 or 13 different decks of cards, and yeah, it's been a fun ride so far. It's been a very up and down ride. I'm sure you can attest to that. It's like
yeah,
spiritual journey. It's so glamorized these days. Like the new age community is so glamorized with meditation and yoga and eating healthy, which all that stuff is good. And I think it definitely helps. But no one talks about like those moments at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning where you're like an anxious ball of energy and you're just like being intercepted by all these different beings and spirits trying to put shit into your head and your brain. And it's like
yeah.
you don't hear about that stuff. You don't hear about like, I know a lot of people in the spiritual community, they're not, they may have like grand ideas and everything like that. And I'm not really knocking these people, but a lot of them don't have business sense. A lot of people don't have business sense. So
Not at all.
yeah, that's why another thing, like my family, we had a family business growing up. So even though I didn't know all the business side of it, I still saw what it was like to create and establish a successful business. So I at least have the model for it, but a lot of people in this community don't have the model for it.
But it isn't really just in this community, because when you start to getting into business, you suddenly realize that nobody knows anything about what they're doing. They're just testing shit all the time.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, we lost 50,000 customers here. Let's adjust that back up again and let's see if we can get some back.
that's true.
Like,
You're right. We're all just kind of going by the seat of our pants.
I'm gonna say something. I just have to check. Can I say it? Yeah, I think I can say it. So I was best salesman in a telephone company, one of the biggest one in Europe. And at the peak of my career, the sales department in the company run ideas through me to validate if it was good for their 11-figure company. And I'm like, yeah, ain't you supposed to do that? You got higher salary than me. But nobody knows anything. They're just testing shit all the time.
Just testing shit all the time.
So don't be afraid if you feel like you ain't got it yet. You're just before your time.
That is true. And I think that's a very important sentiment, especially if you happen to be catching this live, if you're watching this video, or if you're into this sort of stuff, you're very much so before your time. And a lot of us, even people who aren't per se in the spiritual community, although we're all spiritual in our own way, even people who don't directly engage with it, but you are before your time, and a lot of us haven't even gotten our Saturn returns yet, or we're getting our Saturn returns. So it's like, it's okay if you don't got it right now. I mean, we can look at humanity as a whole, and I feel like we're teenagers. I feel like we haven't even graduated high school as a human populace yet. Like we might.
Yeah, I feel like I'm still 18.
Yeah, I feel like we're like 13 or 14 years old as like humanity, like as a collective. Like that's our mental space. But yeah.
But I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
When you were around 15, 16, how would you imagine being 28 would feel like, or 27?
Oh, I imagine that I would probably have my own place, maybe somewhere in the city or in the suburbs, pretty well off. I mean, not like millions of dollars, whatever, but it was kind of what you see on TV, like, decent job somewhere in the city, go out on occasion, have a good amount of friends. I saw that sort of stuff.
I just felt that 27 was so old, and now I'm 27, and I'm like, I've just started. This is fun. Let's go.
That's true, though, because I think about it, too. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be 28 in a week, and I do feel young because, I even had a moment yesterday where I was almost dreading the idea of, getting old. Like, I had this whole flash of, me being in my 70s or my 80s and just, not dreading life, but just realizing that the adventure was in its last moments, kind of like it's in the winter. Like you break up kind of life as seasons. When you're in your 70s, you're in your 80s, you're in the winter of your life. So it's typically the winter is cold, dreary, but then you still have the holidays around that time. So there's this warmth to the energy. Sagittarius energy comes during the winter. So it's it's right before the winter, but
where all the companies come to take your wallet for free.
Exactly. Guys, I know Christmas is supposed to be all about family and all that sort of stuff, but it's no coincidence that Christmas happens during Capricorn season. There's no coincidence at all of that. Okay,
and it's also
that makes sense, but
it's also right before the end of the year, so everyone is trying to get rid of money so they don't have to pay taxes for next year.
That's true.
So
That's
all about all businesses that need to get break even, like Amazon, they don't pay taxes because they got no revenue. Everything is expenses. So it's like when it's Christmas, it's like, oh, we still have 1 million. Let's go on a vacation.
Right. Yeah, people are going on vacations and stuff. People are And that's even the funny thing, because Capricorn being opposite of Cancer, which Cancer is the home, Capricorn is in many ways, yeah, going on a vacation or going somewhere else. And it is, that's why when it's the new year, everyone's setting New Year's resolutions, because they have goals and they have a mountain that they want to climb. But a lot of times people drop off with their goals. I would say around Pisces time is when people start to give up on their goals and shit. Because like in Aquarius, you still kind of have that Saturnian vibe, even though Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. But then once you get the Pisces season, things get even trippier and weirder. And then like people can get really lost in like certain fantasies or delusions and stuff. And come Aries time, when it's time to really initiate, that's when you really should be setting your New Year's goals, is during Aries, so they can manifest during Capricorn season. But we got it backwards. We're trying to start new things during Capricorn season when it's supposed to be an Aries season. So
yeah.
That's why you should follow astrology, because astrology is, in my opinion, is the true calendar. I believe that we're supposed to eventually evolve our understanding past astrology, but still use it, but we're still like evolve past it. But like if you get like a basic understanding of astrology, it's like it's kind of almost easy to predict what's going to happen in the world. Like you can see at least the tendencies. You can see how humanity starts to shift based off of the seasons and stuff. So pretty fucking interesting, I would say.
And it's so weird because in school you are always told to make a circle for the year, for the calendar. But then you grow up and it's a timeline.
Yeah.
Why did we stop with a wheel?
I don't know. Of course, astrology is a wheel, and the great thing about a wheel is that it's technically never ending, and you can never really pinpoint when the beginning of it or the end of it is if you draw it well enough. But I mean, you're right. It's like it is a circle, and that's what life is. It's a circle. It's not just a linear
circle of life.
Yeah. Of course, there are some people that believe that the Earth isn't a globe and it's flat, but you know, we can.
I actually believe it's flat.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's flat, and I'm not. And like my personal belief is, I'm not. It's not going to be super challenged if it turns out to be flat. I'm not going to be like personally offended if it's flat. It kind of makes sense.
But I don't believe it's a. I don't believe it's a pancake. It's more like the Simpson dome, if that makes sense.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like that. And then there's a whole other half to the Earth that's below it that we haven't explored yet, or it's off limits.
Maybe that's hell.
Some people say hell. Some people say the underworld. I've seen Sheol, I think is another term for it.
Oh, okay.
Like there's like void space. I personally don't believe in hell. I think hell and heaven are a mindset. I think it's a vibration. I think the underworld is an actual place. And that's where Pluto is. But the underworld isn't fire and brimstone. You know, it's mostly cold actually down there.
Yeah, and someone also says that since Lucifer was thrown out of heaven down on earth, since the devil is on the surface, maybe we are in hell already.
We might already be there. Which is interesting. And then you have like, it's interesting how it works, because like in astrology, a lot of those themes are kind of ruled by Scorpio, and we are in Scorpio season. Then when you get to tarot, the devil is ruled by Capricorn. So it's like, it's kind of interesting how that happens, right?
It's like in the video game God of War. He's in hell and have to get out of it. That's kind of what we are now in Scorpio season. Yes.
Yeah, I see Scorpio season as I almost want to look at every sign as like a location or a thing. And I guess you can see it as hell or an underworld, but I like to see it as like a tomb. I see it like as like this dark tunnel and tomb, and Scorpio is naturally very investigative. So it's like we're trying to investigate and get clues so we can get out of the tunnel. So when we reach the light, that's Sagittarius, but it's not a Leo light, it's a Sagittarius light. It's a mutable fire light. So it's like even when we leave the transformation of being in the tomb or the catacombs of Scorpio, we get to Sag. And it's like, oh, but winter is still coming. You know, it's getting colder, but you still have Capricorn season, Aquarius, and Pisces season to deal with. So, but it's about taking that fire that we get during Scorpio, because a lot of times people like, yeah, Scorpio is a water sign. It's ruled by Mars too, guys. So that's talking
Yeah.
about the feminine aspects of Mars. So it's the inner fire, whereas Aries represents our outer fire and what people see. So it's like about taking that inner fire and then translating it through Sagittarius, which is a masculine sign. It's like, all right, what are you going to do with that fire? How are you going to express your beliefs and what you learned about yourself moving forward? And we have a very powerful Scorpio season, guys. Like,
Yeah.
what's been your experience so far with like the Scorpio season, Mercury retrograde? Venus was here recently, but it's in Sagittarius now.
I can actually show you. I
Yeah.
have had to make my own homemade bandage because I've dislocated my wrist.
Dang.
But I don't know how it happened. I thought it was spiritual first, but I tried to heal it. I tried to pray. I tried to morph my DNA, but nothing worked. So I'm
So
just like, okay.
your sixth house is Capricorn, right?
One more time.
Your sixth house is Capricorn, right?
Yeah, Capricorn and part of Aquarius.
That's interesting. I mean, we do have a lot of energy there, and sixth house is ruled by health, and Capricorn usually does rule like the bones and the skeletal structure. But
But
yeah, so I mean, with Pluto there and freaking the South Node and Saturn,
what's the degree of Pluto right now?
I think Pluto is it's at 21 degrees right now. It just got to 21 degrees. Like,
Okay,
it's probably
because
only been there for like a day.
okay, because I got Mercury in Capricorn 26.
26. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of feel my Mercury is getting transformed by Pluto
Mm-hmm.
while being in retrograde in the future from behind.
What's interesting too is that Mars right now is in Libra and it's getting
Yeah.
ready to square your Mercury, and Mars is in your 12th house. So maybe there is some sort of spiritual implication there.
Yeah, I got a reader to pull a card, and she got Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah. Oh, Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like it's destined to happen, but I don't know why.
I think that's the other thing about destiny, and I kind of want to even mention is that because when you
Yeah.
hear the words destiny, there's usually this whole, like, you see this whole connotation of like, I don't know, I'm seeing like the sun coming through the clouds, I'm seeing like gold, I'm seeing silver, I'm seeing a bunch of, oh, it's your destiny to do that. Sometimes your destiny is to, take that particular turn on your way to work. And it may not mean much right now, but I bet like there's a reason why your spirit took you in that direction. So it's like, just like obviously it was destiny for us to come and do this, just as much as it was destiny for me to put this shirt on. I had no really particular reason to put the shirt on. I just wanted to wear it, but it was destiny. But it doesn't mean that my whole life is going to, I guess, change. It could. Small things matter, but I think that's another weird thing. You hear destiny, fate thrown around a lot, law of attraction, manifestation, synchronicities resonate. A lot of these words have been overly used in the community, and I feel like we don't really know what they mean. But that's why Mercury is here, because Mercury rules language. It's in Scorpio and it's retrograde. So this is a time where we're supposed to really figure out, okay, what does manifestation mean to you, though? Scorpio, it's an intimate sign, and it can be a very personal sign too, but because of the Mars energy. But it's like, what does manifestation mean to you? What does it mean for something to resonate? What does it mean for something to be destiny?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my spirit guides told me that everything I create a song about manifests. So now I'm like really scared about making songs because it's like if I have a bad day, am I manifesting bad days?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting. I think a lot of times I almost want to say that whatever we're creating is more like the after effect of
Oh
what
yeah.
spirit has already gone through. Because I kind of feel the same way with like my writing. Like usually if I'm like if I write up like a poem, if I'm working on a story, but like whatever is happening in there is going to translate in my life, and especially through my dream state. Like I had a dream last night about our reception that we're going to have in December, and I keep getting dreams in relation to babies. That's been happening more in the
Oh.
past year, and I'm like, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. So it's like,
But I can give you some advice about that because I'm a dad.
okay.
So when my ex-girlfriend was pregnant, I was terrified because I didn't feel ready to become a father. So I was Googling, I was researching so much, and just terrified. Like I'm 21, don't know what to do. My girlfriend at that time is like, she's Googling everything that's happening to her body, and Google says, of course, you have cancer. So it's like nothing to worry about, really. And the moment I was ready to become a father was when I held my daughter in my arms. So I
Oh,
don't believe you become ready, you just choose to be ready.
yeah. No, that's
I
probably
just
true.
I just had to become ready, if that makes sense, in the moment.
Yeah. There's
Because
something about
you
that
look
connection.
at this little life and it's like, I'm your father, I'm gonna protect you for the rest of your life. It's not a I don't think you can feel I'm not ready, because it's like, oh shit, it's my responsibility.
Mm-hmm. No,
So look
that's
forward to it, man.
what's up?
Look forward to it.
Well, I'm actually excited about it because I mean, first of all, I'm a big kid. Like I may be turning 28 soon, but ultimately I'm like a 10-year-old perpetually on the inside, like Ash Ketchum. So I'm excited because then I can be a child with my children, you know. Of course, be an adult when I have to. I'm excited. I was just like, so I think it's mostly from the financial aspect. I want to be able to support a family and stuff right now.
Yeah.
So right now, I don't feel like I can financially support a family, but I mean, I'm sure you are absolutely right. And when I experience holding my child for the first time, that I'm gonna have that same thing where it's just like something I guess just clicks, and it's like, okay, I'm doing this, like no matter what. So definitely
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be amazing. You will
in.
become a great dad, and I mean that truly.
I really appreciate that. I sure hope so. Honestly, my parents, I mean, they're not together anymore, but they did an incredible job raising us. So, I mean, for the longest time, I still kind of admittedly am upset that they split, but it was for the best, honestly. And they're healing. I could tell that they're healing and stuff. So, just because for a while there, I wanted them to be together. I think I also was projecting fears onto my own relationship about what happened if me and Lauren split up. What happens if
Yeah.
it doesn't work out and stuff. And it could very well not work out, but I do my best, especially now, not to really focus on that stuff. But my parents did a great job, and I just hope to, of course, I want to do better, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I didn't have a terrible childhood, honestly. I had a lot of my needs provided for. There's probably a lot of emotional stuff, that I had to deal with, but
Yeah, your
we all
kid
got
gonna
something.
be with a spoon in the mouth.
We all got something. I think a lot of us, we have either Chiron in Cancer or Chiron in Leo. Some of
Yeah.
us have Chiron in Virgo, but a lot of us have those energies. And we're also trying to get our Saturn return. So that deals with the home life, that deals with our passions growing up, that deals with our daily reality. And, Chiron is now in Aries. So we just healed, like, we just healed an entire cycle of like shit, guys. Like Chiron is officially in Aries. It's not going to retrograde back into Pisces. We just healed so much shit from like the past. Was it like, I think it's like 84 years, something like that. I think that's Chiron's cycle. I can't remember if it's 84, if it's like 50 something.
But
But
remember that Neptune is still in the butthurt sign.
yeah. So now that Chiron's in Aries, we're starting a whole new cycle of, they call it the wounded healer or whatever like that, but we're starting this whole new cycle of new doors to open because
I think we should honestly rename what Pisces stands for, because I truly believe that Pisces is the sign of the butthurt.
of the what?
Butthurt.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like it's been half of the zodiac sign now for Neptune since 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like people are like, when is all this butthurt stuff gonna stop? And it's like, we're only halfway.
Yeah, we're only halfway, guys. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta
Buckle
wait
up.
for that to come into Aries. Like, if people think that the world is weird and crazy now, y'all haven't seen shit yet. I mean, like literally. And Uranus is in Taurus, so there's going to be a lot of innovation over the next 5 to 6 years.
Oh, it's gonna be
But
amazing.
this is all going to be in this. I'm calling it a mini dark age because it gets darker before it gets lighter. So once Neptune comes into Aries, that's when you're going to really see. You're going to see a lot more authenticity within the spiritual community. But over the next 5 to 6 years, you're going to see authenticity, but you're also going to see a lot of fakes. You're going to see a lot of frauds.
Oh yeah.
But then once Neptune comes into Aries and then people really fuck with you, then you'll know, because that's like you being truly spiritually raw. Like that's authenticity is already kind of a toxic word. Authenticity is going to be like become an outdated term by the time that Neptune hits Aries. It just simply is. So it's like you're gonna see what's up?
What do you think will happen when North Node reaches Taurus?
Oh, that's see, I mean,
I haven't thought about it.
I haven't thought about it because I've been focused on the North Node going into Gemini, but
Yeah.
North Node in Taurus, it is going to come in contact with Uranus too. I believe by that time Jupiter will probably see it's in Sag going to Cap. It'll probably be in Aquarius or Pisces, one of those areas. So North Node and Taurus are going to be very intense. Actually, I kind of thought about this a little bit the other day, but I was thinking about it from the point of the South Node being in Scorpio, because
Oh
the
yeah.
South Node in Scorpio is going to be like, if you haven't healed a lot of your past life shit, you're not going to be able to avoid it. You might be able to avoid it for a little bit longer. You might be able to avoid it now. You might be able to avoid it when the South Node goes into Sagittarius. But by the time that South Node hits Scorpio, you're not going to be able to avoid it. It's going to come at you like a freight train of the night. But the North Node being in Taurus, it's going to be this reestablishment of value that we have for ourselves, for the community, hopefully, and for the world at large, hopefully. But you got to go through that South Node energy before you can hit that North Node. So South Node in Scorpio, I mean, that's going to be fucking gnarly. I think the last time it was there was like, it wasn't 2000. It was right before 2001. I think it was like right at the turn. I think it was like right near like Y2K or something. I can look that up real fast, but I'm pretty sure that's when it was the last time the South Node was in Scorpio. Let's see. If my phone will let me. Oh, why did you do that? Oh, come on.
Yeah. I'm on Planet Watcher as well.
Oh, Planet Watcher is like my go-to. It's so good. Um, let's see. Trying to. Okay, so all right. So back in 2000, the South Node was still in. It was still in Capricorn. What about? Let's go ahead. And let's go ahead 2002. So yeah, I know it's like an 18-year cycle, I'm pretty sure, with the nodes.
Okay,
So
so South Node enters Scorpio the 19th of January 2022.
yes,
And then Jupiter is in Aquarius.
Jupiter will be in Aquarius.
Yeah, 14 degrees.
Ooh, so they'll end up squaring each other.
And it's conjunct Mercury as well.
Oh shit. That's incredible. Yeah, so they're going to be squaring each other.
Or
That's going to be
is
intense. That's actually a really big deal because you got to think Jupiter is all about, yeah, it's about beliefs and expansion. But being an Aquarius, you're gonna see a lot of communities, like new communities, start to build up and create themselves. But then there's gonna be the square to the nodes, which is gonna be interesting because you're gonna see the South Node in Scorpio squaring the Jupiter energy and Mercury.
oh
They're gonna
no,
be
I mixed two signs. It's actually in Pisces.
oh, it's in Pisces.
Yeah, 4 degrees.
Oh, 4 degrees.
But Saturn is halfway through
Saturn.
Aquarius.
Oh, Saturn will be squaring it. That's even crazier.
Yeah.
Saturn's squaring it. Jupiter will be at the edge of Pisces. So Jupiter will be starting a new cycle soon around that time as well. But Saturn is even crazier because it's almost like people are going to be wanting to create new communities, but they're going to be dealing with people trying to keep a lot of the information on the hush hush.
Yeah.
Yeah. You may even see like, if any of you guys have heard of like Waco, Texas, or these communities that like are self-sufficient, but then the government comes in and they like pretty much, kill them off. Not kill them off, but they kind of, destroy it, whatever. You're going to see that. You're going to see communities wanting to rise up and kind of establish themselves as independent, but then governments are going to come in like, no, you can't do that. Like you'll probably see that. That's why we're going into this mini dark age. You're going to see a bunch of weird stuff happen. Like, if you think the internet is crazy now, like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, these are just precursors to what we're supposed to use. They're just testing. They're just testing tools. We haven't even unlocked what we're supposed to be using.
Dude, I found a very interesting placement.
Oh, what's that?
On Valentine's Day 2022, Pluto is trining North Node in Taurus.
Pluto.
27 degrees.
Ooh. 27 degrees. Mercury will be there. Oh, and that's even funnier. Mars and Venus will be conjunct at 15
Oh
as well.
yeah.
That's big. That's big. The moon will be in Leo too. That's gonna be interesting. That actually is
Lots of people gonna get married.
a lot of people will get married. A lot of people are going to actually commit to someone, and they're probably would have like, I would have never thought I would actually commit to somebody, but they will. They absolutely will.
Yeah.
Especially with the moon will be in Cancer for the first part of the day, and then it'll go into Leo. So it's actually going to oppose that energy. It's going to be like people are going to be plucked right out of their comfort zone, but pushed into like this whole new creative, energetic space with the Leo energy. And then, of course, you have those nodes. That's going to be interesting. See, this is a lot of times what I do in my spare time. I'll just be going through Planet Watcher and I'm like, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. If you guys haven't already, like, obviously I'm not sponsored by Planet Watcher, but if you just simply go on Google and type in Planet Watcher and start playing with it, oh my goodness, I can lose hours in the day just by looking at Planet Watcher and trying to figure out what's going on and stuff.
So this Christmas you need to wish for another monitor so you can have Astro Fenixx videos, tutorial videos on one screen and Planet Watcher on the other one.
Yes. Yeah, I'm working on my whole setup here. I mean, I have a decent webcam. I need like a mic, like an actual like good mic. Because I bought this mic like a long time ago. This crappy little mic. Yeah, it was decent, for what I was using it for. This was a while ago. This wasn't even when I was Astro Fenixx, but they have some decent mics online, so I'll probably snag one of those.
Yeah,
and then,
this one is decent, but it's recording the whole neighborhood almost. So it's a condensator mic, so I need to get a dynamic mic instead.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I still need to learn about all that stuff, and I think, for me, like I pretty much do all this myself. Like as far as like the recording of the videos, the editing, I do all of it. Like I don't have like an editor or anything like that. So
But
I pretty
could
much
you?
taught myself everything. What's up?
Could you have an editor since you got MC midheaven in Virgo?
Probably. It would actually really help. I'm
But
sure.
would you be able to handle it, losing the control?
My Jupiter in Virgo
Okay.
might help me with that. But yeah, there's a part of me that wants to have control, obviously, over the process and stuff. That's what we were talking about earlier. It's like my midhaven in Virgo, like you said, just kind of want to get it done, but I'll like obsess over the details. That's
Yeah.
why, like, if I don't necessarily reach a goal in the way that I want to reach it, or if it doesn't pan out exactly the way I want, I'll frustrate myself, and then I'm like thinking that, oh, I'm off my spiritual path, something's not in alignment. Like I can start to spiral that way. But fortunately, I have Jupiter there, even though Jupiter doesn't like to be in Virgo. I have a lot of placements like that, where planets are in signs that they don't want to be in.
I got
So
Sun in Aquarius.
yeah, so yeah, y'all Aquariuses, y'all are. I can't figure you guys out. I'm married to an Aquarius, guys. Our suns square each other within 3 degrees.
Oh,
Um,
what do
yeah.
you want to figure out? I'm an open book. Read me.
Uh, how do y'all just pull out information out of your hat? Like there are times where my wife will just it's hard to argue with her because she can easily one up me. And a lot of times it's not about winning, but we're naturally very competitive. Our Mars square each other as well. Because she has Mars in Aquarius, I have Mars in
Yeah.
Scorpio. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
I
it's sort of like we have our brain is faster than Google. So
oh that's
we
true.
have this database. Like I got lots of information, but I need people to ask me question for me to search it up.
That kind of makes sense. It's like Google has a lot of information, but it's not going to give you the information until you type it in. But
Yeah.
Aquarius, you guys are processing that a lot faster too.
Yeah,
Like,
but the database is built in another way because it's like it's an ideal system, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So I've built this ideal world inside my head, and instead of like most people, they see information and then they compare what they know with what they
Hmm.
see. I compare what I see with what I know.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
So I'm kind of validating my experiences with what I think of the world.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes Aquarius fixed too. But like
Yeah.
Aquarius is all yeah, Aquarius is the rebel. They're all about innovation, but then yeah, you guys are super stubborn. Like arguably the most stubborn sign in the zodiac next to Scorpio. All the fixed signs are stubborn, but
I've
arguably one of the most stubborn.
Taurus, Taurus, Taurus sun.
Taurus. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like do I want to talk with this person, or do I just want to nod and ignore?
But I'm fascinated by the Aquarius energy. That's why, like, this whole coming into this new age of Aquarius, I originally called myself the Aquarian Adepts, but I'm fascinated with it. I don't have a lot of Aquarius energy. I have Saturn in Aquarius at 1 degree. So I don't have a
Yeah,
lot of aqua energy, but I'm fascinated by it because it's like, it does seem like this seemingly unlimited database of information. But as you said, it's kind of like you need people to ask you questions, or you need some sort of external cue or experience to kind of activate it. But then
yeah,
you guys can kind of just pinpoint and go right to it. Like how
yeah.
to get to that information.
But
But I love what you said. What's up?
that could also be my Mercury Capricorn.
Yeah, I'm sure that helps.
Yeah, and I, to be honest, I don't agree with most Aquarians. I think they're fucking stupid. It's like, oh, you're vegan. Oh, you're sick because you ate vegan, and you want to continue to eat vegan. And I'm like,
Oh, we can get into that. I don't per se disagree with people who want to be vegan. If you feel great about that choice, that's cool. I think people right now are doing it. I think most people are doing it for the wrong reasons right now. I think um, First of all, everything on this earth is regurgitated energy. So even if you're eating a
Yeah.
plant, some animal died on that plant, and that plant took in its nutrients, and it's in your system. You just,
Yeah. And
you
all
know,
these people saying like, oh, if nobody was eating the animals, there would be animals everywhere. And I'm like, no, they wouldn't
we
be
don't want
born
that.
because they're no business.
We wouldn't want that, honestly. We eat animals for a reason, you know. I think that there are some definitely inhumane practices at getting animal
Yeah,
meat.
totally.
I definitely do that. And another thing is that like there's a lot of course vitamins and nutrients that a lot of vegans don't get without having to supplement with like, vitamins and stuff. But then also, um, we're not supposed to have fields that are 100 acres large growing the same plant. That's unnatural. But now we have
Yeah.
to do that to, of course, feed the livestock, but also to substantiate this whole vegan craze right now. And I'm
Yeah.
just like for me personally, I don't eat beef or pork, or I hadn't for the longest time. But like I slowly began to integrate it back into my diet, just because honestly, for me, it feels more natural and stuff. But
Yeah.
I noticed that there was a benefit to not eating beef and pork, but it began to wear off. I think a lot of it was a placebo effect. So it was like, I think so long as you honestly just keep a balanced diet, then you should be okay. For most of us, you should be okay. There's certain people that maybe they can't actually eat meat and they have to eat just vegetables and stuff and fruit, and that's fine. But I'm not really getting the whole vegan craze because right now, especially, there's so much money in it right now, and
Yeah.
probably a lot of corporate greed in it now. And it's just, yeah, I don't know,
Yeah. A vegan lifestyle in Norway is called a luxury lifestyle.
kind of luxury lifestyle.
Yeah, because it's like vegetables are at least twice or third the price of meat.
hmm
So it's yeah.
I mean, that makes sense though, considering just the locale and the weather and the temperament there. That makes sense. So I think even the fact that people can be vegan here in America, I think it is a luxury, but people want to kind of perpetuate it as we should all do this. But like I said, I feel like the reasons people are doing it are not necessarily the right reasons. People who want
Yeah.
to save the planet or whatever like that, I think that there are other things that we are doing that are destroying this planet far quicker than eating animals.
Yeah,
So,
and you see all these the climate change and all that discussion.
mhm.
And then they're like, "Oh, climate change is bad." And then they import vegan products from the other side of the globe with plane in plastic wrapping
Right,
and promote it on their Instagram.
right.
So it's like maybe you're not that good at either.
We're very privileged. We are super privileged. And there's like so many people in the world. It's like there are people in the world that can't even get a meal, and then there are certain people freaking
Yeah.
out. Oh my gosh, you're eating chicken? What? And I'm like, yo, there's someone in a third world country that would just be happy just for like the skin on that chicken, and you're flipping out because I'm having a burger or something or
Yeah.
whatever. It gets very weird. Me and my wife, when we lived in Colorado, we had some friends. We're not friends anymore because we had a pretty bad falling out. It didn't have to be that bad, but they were vegan and they were cool and stuff like that. But then it was like there are moments where they tried to like kind of push it on us, and I was like, Lauren definitely wasn't budging. That was one thing. She was a lot more stubborn than I was. I was entertaining it, but I wasn't actually doing it and stuff like that. There were some items, like I don't drink regular milk usually. There's like a vegan sausage that I get that's really good, but and then even all that, have you seen? I don't know if you've seen any of that, but a lot of the fake meats and shit aren't actually really
Yeah.
good for you. But I guess it's just the placebo of it not being an animal that people
Oh.
enjoy. But a lot of it's not good for you. crazy. There's so many things.
Yeah.
This whole the
But
woke.
man, over to something else. Have
Oh
you
yeah.
decided what gender you are yet?
Oh, I was about to get to that actually. You read my mind.
Awesome.
Yes. You know, it's funny too, because like I saw this post where it was like it was a shirt, someone was selling a shirt and it said there's more than two genders, but then when it said pick a size, it had male and female. I was like, you guys forgot about the other 50 plus genders.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think that's a weird one. This is all Neptune and Pisces. This is people overly identifying with what they believe to be true.
And Chiron and Aries.
And Chiron and Aries. Like this is overly identifying with that. And it's like if you want to be trans.
And it's also trining Jupiter.
Yeah,
inside.
trining Jupiter as
Yeah.
well.
So people believe they are smart at the same time.
Exactly. But it's like, if people really want to be trans or do all that stuff, cool. But there are certain lines and barriers that you just can't cross. First of all, don't do it to children. Like I don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh, my son, my 5-year-old son, he's a girl. No, maybe he just likes to play with dolls. Maybe he just likes the color pink. That doesn't mean that he's a girl.
Yeah.
He can't make that decision yet. He hasn't grown up. He hasn't gone through his 20s. He hasn't even had his Jupiter return. He hasn't had his second one. He hasn't had his Saturn return. Like, how can he possibly know, like, what he wants? Although I do think that these children that are coming up are brilliant, but they are being born into such a toxic environment. They're going to have some difficulty trying to find themselves. But that's where we come into play, like Pluto and Scorpio generation. Because a lot of these kids with like Pluto Cap and Pluto Aqua, like when they get to like our age now, they're going to be like, well, I think they're going to be pissed off, probably more pissed off than us. But the turnaround and their ability to manifest is going to be stupid. Like,
but
they're going to get their returns. What's up?
But do you know what they're going to be most frustrated about?
What?
Their young single mamas posting pictures about them on Facebook.
Yeah.
Without their consent.
Without their consent. Yeah, that's another one.
There was actually a case now in Europe, I believe. A daughter sued her mom for putting pictures on Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah, and she won.
She won?
Yeah, she was only like 13 or something and sued her mom.
You're probably going to see a lot of that. A lot of like these little kid videos that get like millions of views and shit.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be like, hey, y'all are passing that video around of me. I want a cut of that.
Oh, yeah.
You want to see this. These Pluto and Cap kids aren't joking. They're about their money. Like they are about business.
Oh, that's for real, yeah.
Yeah, these Pluto and Cap kids, these Pluto Aqua kids that we're going to be getting in a couple years, they're not playing around. Like it's going to be interesting. My niece, she's a Pluto and Cap. I want to say Taurus Sun, Gemini rising. I don't know her moon. I can't remember it, but she's Pluto and Cap, and I can already see it. I'm like, oh shit.
She's a luxury resort owner or something.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, with the sun and Taurus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're going to see a lot of that stuff. And back to the whole gender thing, I just think it's crazy. I think the pandering, I mean, I know that there have been marginalized groups in human history. I acknowledge that. I'm aware that there's a caste system, even if we don't want to talk about it. But overly pandering to some of these communities is becoming very toxic. And I'm sure people are going to be like, oh my gosh, you're transphobic, Astro Fenixx. No, I'm not transphobic. Just why can't you just be yourself? Like, why do you have to like push it in my face? You know,
back in my old days, there were only two genders.
Right. I'm like, I don't care if you want to do that stuff, fine, but you don't like, they have like their own flag, like, you know, of course you have like the rainbow flag, but then there are even like groups within the group that have like their own flags. And it's like, I saw one thing on Facebook. I always go back to this because I thought it was funny, but she said that she was demisexual biromantic, and it has its own flag. And apparently, what it means is that you're attracted to both genders, but you won't have sex with them unless you have a deeper connection. So, which translates to, so you're bisexual and you won't sleep with anyone randomly because you have morals. That's what it sounds like to me. Like,
Yeah.
why does it have to have a definition? And I think we are getting so caught up in definitions right now, which is weird because Pisces isn't even about definition. It's mutable water. It's anything but definition.
Yeah, but are you using it to escape?
Yeah, it's an escape.
So they are labeling themselves to escape from the normal society.
Exactly, yeah. And I think, also the other big thing with the transgender stuff is sports. That's a huge one. You're seeing it's almost like 99%. It's men that transition into women. They dominate women's sports. They're breaking records and shit. And it's unfair to biological women. It's incredibly unfair to biological women. And honestly, if transgender people want to participate in sports, you got to just create their own group, because it's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair for women transitioning into men either, because they're never going to win anything.
Yeah. I can't wait to get to the US. I feel like I'm gonna get Ginny's record for offending people or something.
Oh, it's okay though. It's all right.
Police gonna stand and wait for me across every border on every state. Like, oh, you're that guy.
Yeah.
Because here in Norway, we
What's up?
don't have a separate word for gender.
You don't, right?
No, sex and gender is the same.
I mean, I think, what is that?
I think that if you would say that we can accept that you're a trans. That's no problem, because that's you change over to the other.
Mm-hmm.
But if you say you are something in between, the mental hospital is that way.
Oh.
And I honestly believe that police will say that to you too.
Yeah, but just different cultures. But I mean, there are for sure men who are more feminine than other men, just like there are women that are more masculine than other women, whatever like that. So there are varying levels, but I don't think that necessarily means that if you're like a man that's a little bit more feminine and you're maybe not as macho, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a woman and stuff. I think sex is biological, and I think gender is the one that everyone's trying to figure out and stuff. But it's like, I still don't get it. Someone did ask, is astrology causing the gender thing?
Oh yeah.
Probably. I would think some of it has to deal with the Neptune energy, but if you want to think of the planets themselves, they all have male and feminine, masculine and feminine aspects, but the only planet that's truly neutral is Mercury, which rules the mind. So
this is actually a good thing.
It's all a mind game.
It's actually a good thing with all this labeling, because we're making it so crazy that when people will go out in public, running for president or whatever, and claim they are an alien, people can't say anything, but because I don't want to offend you.
Oh gosh, the PC culture is terrible. It's so terrible here in America too. Like, no one wants to offend each other. No one, everyone, it's like we don't even want to, no one has a backbone. Like no one can take criticism. And everyone writes off criticism as either attacks or toxic behavior, toxic masculinity. No one wants to talk about toxic femininity, because that exists too. Which
burn.
It does exist, and I know some of you guys might be a little upset by me saying this, but I'm being.
It's called feminism.
Toxic femininity exists just as much as toxic masculinity. But I would say astrology is causing a lot of the gender thing. Mercury is kind of like a hermaphroditic planet, so it's probably one of the few that's neutral, because it moves so fast though. It's a mindset. So, I mean,
Yeah, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter what gender you are. The problem is when you're trying to become special.
Yes.
So people don't really, okay, if you want to call yourself a girl, that's okay. But if you want special rules for you because you are a
Mhm.
girl with 3 eyes or whatever, then it's a problem.
Yeah,
And
I
how
agree.
many bathrooms can we make?
I agree. People want to be special, and people are special. They're just looking in the wrong places.
I
I
saw
think.
something in England on a talk show. It was a daughter with a mother, and a man came into the stall, but he identified as a woman.
Yeah, you're seeing some of that stuff. Oh, you
That's
can
kind of
identify
creepy.
with different races now. Like I
Yeah.
can identify as being white or being Hispanic, and nobody can say anything about it.
Yeah, and I said to some people, I don't see color, I see humans, and they're like, "Oh, that's racist."
How's that racist?
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
because I don't respect people of color by calling them people of color.
yeah, I don't get that. I
And
say
actually,
human.
here in Norway, it's racist to call somebody black.
Is it really?
Yeah, we don't say black people, we say
I'm
colored
honestly
people.
surprised it's not the same here too, because logically that makes sense. Logically, to me, it makes sense. But of course,
Yeah.
I'm technically not black. I'm brown. Like this box is closer to black than I am.
Yeah,
But
and I'm not white either. I'm like,
like that's another one that I don't understand. It's like, oh, you're white, you're black. I'm like, technically, no one is white or black. If you want to look at it logically and look at it like seriously, like I'm brown. Everyone is some shade of brown. Some people are just really, 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 really light brown. Some people are darker brown,
yeah,
but no one's actually black or white. And we're trying to make it a black and white issue and shit.
yeah,
But it's weird. Oh, I identify as this, I identify as that. But I guess the same thing can be said for the spiritual community. Some people are identifying as gods and goddesses and stuff. But here's what's happening in the spiritual community. When we identify as these things, the universe is like, okay, I'm gonna challenge you like I would challenge a god or a goddess and see what happens.
oh,
That's what
yeah,
people are going through. That's why the awakening is so powerful. And that's why it hurts sometimes. Because I can be like, oh, yes, I'm a spiritual warrior from this other dimension. And the universe is going to respond to me like, okay, this is what spiritual warriors from this dimension go through. How are you going to handle it? And then you're going to see people, some people are going through with this, some people are backing off, you know?
yeah.
Like people was like, oh, I want my twin flame. I want my soulmate. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Like,
But have you been noticing the tribal wars in the tech community?
what's up?
The tribal wars in the tech community.
The tribal wars in the tech community?
Yeah, because now you got Amazon, YouTube or Google, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft,
Yeah,
each using their streaming platforms, and all the influencers are front figures in a spiritual war.
really?
Yeah, and now every platform has started to sign influencers. So they're
Huh.
kind of trying to buy followers.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that haven't happened on Instagram, for example. But I guess there's really no competition there because people use Instagram more than Snapchat.
Yeah, they definitely do. I like rarely use Snapchat. I like rarely use it.
Like every day now, I see some Mixer signed this influencer, YouTube signed this one. Oh, Twitch got this one. This one left Twitch, and it's like,
It's kind
what
of
the hell are
weird,
you doing
right?
with? Yeah, it's weird.
It's like sports teams when they sign an athlete. Now it's platforms are doing this.
Yeah,
YouTube signed this person, Twitch signed this person. I'm like, this is getting very weird now. And we don't have a lot of teams either. We only have a few teams. We have YouTube. As far as like that sort of stuff, like streaming, we have YouTube, we have
oh,
Twitch,
but
we have
that's not the
Mixer.
team. The
Yeah.
team, the team are the influencers.
Oh, okay.
The league is the platform.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody is competing, but if you don't stream one day, maybe you lose subscribers because people have a limited time, can't watch everyone.
Right.
So this is just a rumor. I have not confirmed this, but I think Shroud or whatever he's called left Twitch, went to Mixer, which is owned by Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
It is rumored he's getting $30 million to go.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and they got more people they're gonna buy as well.
Wow.
And I looked on the statistics of what you earn from live streaming with donations and sponsor deals and all stuff. People are getting like $10,000 an hour to play a game.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like, what are
Never
we
would
doing
have
with our
thought-
life?
If I had known, I probably would have went down that route myself.
It's never too late because
That's
we're
true.
just starting on the internet revolution. Like, people think that this internet is so advanced, but it's like we only just
Oh,
invented the wheel.
internet's in its infancy. We haven't even been born. The internet hasn't even been born yet, guys.
Yeah,
Well, the internet's it's an interconnected. It comes from the inside, but as far as the external representation of what the internet actually is,
yeah.
it hasn't even been born yet. Like we're like,
Yeah, or maybe a toddler just going around crushing things.
yeah, it's probably a toddler, I would say. Like it hasn't even gotten anywhere. Like we as humanity, we're like 13-year-olds,
Yeah.
overall. But then when the internet came along, it's like I don't know if it regressed us. I think it kind of, maybe sort of regressed us, but it's also bringing us forward. But the internet as a tool, it's in its infancy. So we haven't even seen what it's going to do.
Do you know the Pepe frog that is used in memes on 4chan?
The frog? I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody were holding a poster with a Pepe frog in the revolution in China.
Really?
Yeah, so they're starting to use memes in streets against the government.
That's hilarious. Yeah, memes are actually, it's kind of weird how things that came up on the internet are starting to pop up in real life.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It's like,
I think in just 5 years we won't talk about online anymore. It's gonna be just everything is online and offline at the same time.
yeah, that's true. I mean, I can definitely see that. And I think, I saw a post the other day. This person essentially was saying that we should get rid of Wi-Fi in schools and office buildings and homes and all these different in public places. We should like not have Wi-Fi, I guess, because 5G is rolling out. And I'm like,
yeah.
Sister, it's way too integrated at this point. If we got rid of Wi-Fi, you know how many people won't be able to access their money? They won't be able to do anything with what? Like it's here. So it's like we have to adjust. And maybe I haven't looked into the whole 5G causing health problems thing. I'm sure it's not good to look at screens all day, But I think I sent you a video about how playing video games can actually be good for your health.
Yeah.
I believe that. I mean, if you're playing like for 6 to 7 hours a day, that might be an issue. I can't say I haven't done that before, but if you play for like an hour or two a day, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think it's actually good for your health.
Yeah, and if you think about why people play games, it's because it's fun and it's to escape your routine.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how companies are not like, how can we make our company like a video game to make people work more?
That actually is a good idea, right?
Yeah.
It's some sort of incentive, getting stronger at the game, getting stronger in life. Yeah. It's like we're still functioning off of these old models. They're starting
and look at all the people with spending money on in-app purchases.
Right.
Why can't a company have their own company coin that earners can get an exchange for something?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you're getting instead of getting a salary a month, you get coins, and then you can change if you want to have full salary, or if you want to change into vacation time, extra smoking breaks, warmer temperature or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that could be cool.
I think, that gets to the whole like cryptocurrency thing. And I know we're not talking a lot about astrology, guys, but a lot of this does tie in and stuff. But,
we have just begun.
Oh, yeah, we're just beginning, guys. Like, we've been live for like over an hour now. Like I said, you're probably going to see us on here a lot more and stuff. But, yeah, I think with the whole cryptocurrency thing too, that's going to go through a major shift. That's in its infancy because we have Uranus and Taurus. So, and it's
Facebook tried.
We haven't even gotten to like the second half of Taurus yet. So,
I truly believe that the Facebook Libra coin. Have you do you remember that one?
What was it again?
Facebook released an official cryptocurrency.
Oh, they did? Wow.
Yeah, but it lost backing from all the Visa, MasterCard, PayPal. Everybody was in, but then government was like, hey, this is too dangerous. We don't want this. We don't want a currency to be hit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but it was blasphemy. They called it Libra with an Aquarius symbol.
Really?
Yeah, I was so pissed.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna send you the logo.
Yeah, what's weird is that when you see astrology being used and stuff like that, and it's like, it almost feels like they're using the symbols wrong and stuff, or they're using the energy wrong. Like one of the big ones for me is Cancer. How Cancer is an astrological sign, but it's also a disease. So it's like. And honestly, I think the fact that we named this disease Cancer is like perfect reflection on how we as a humanity, we suck at dealing with our emotions. Because Cancer is about, the moon and the emotions. We're so disconnected from like properly dealing with our emotions, and we're so disconnected from the moon and all this stuff. It's like we're just starting to kind of master Gemini.
Yeah.
So we haven't even gotten to Cancer yet. So it's like, I don't know, it's going to be, I don't know, this age, I mean, do you think that we are officially in the age of Aquarius, or do you think that it's going to be like another several years, whatever like that? Like, when do you see it actually kicking off, or do you think we already are in the age of Aquarius?
I believe, I honestly thought that 2012 was the shift. Then I heard some people talk about 2020, but I feel that doesn't really make sense, because I've done some research for myself, and I feel that there's so many people saying that, oh, the life is divided in 7. But I feel it's actually divided in 6. So I think that maybe 2024 is the last year of Age of Pisces.
That kind of makes sense, because by that time Pluto will actually be in Aquarius too. That makes sense. I think it retrogrades back into Capricorn, but by 2025, I think it's like fully in Aquarius.
Yeah, and it's the same time Neptune enters Aries as well, I believe.
It is around the same time. Neptune will be in Aries, and I want to say Neptune retrogrades back into Pisces.
Oh, yeah.
But Pluto won't retrograde back into Capricorn. So
because Neptune, I feel that when they are retrograding, they go back to teach us.
Yeah.
So it's like Neptune is taking us into the Age of Aquarius, but then it's like, hey guys, remember what shit you've been through the last 14 years or whatever.
Exactly.
Or the last 2,000 years.
Yeah, 2024 seems like a good timeline, and that's only a short 4 years away. Like, just thinking about it, I'm like, wow, like this year has really flown by. Like,
thank God.
I still remember, like, And it's been like a crazy season. I feel like every like astrological season has been rather interesting, but I would say for me, probably some of the more difficult ones. I think Cancer destroyed everyone, honestly. Cancer
Oh, the
season,
Mercury retrogrades, they were awful.
the Mercury retrograde. See, that's the thing, because Mercury is retrograding. It usually retrogrades in one element like every year. So this year it's the water element. So we had the Mercury retrograde in Pisces that happened.
Yeah.
That was crazy because it went over Chiron and then came back into Pisces. So that was fun. And went over my moon. So I have my moon at 28 Pisces. So I was dealing with that energy. Then the Mercury retrograde in Cancer was even crazier somehow.
Yeah,
Ironically,
because it was with the eclipses.
yeah, it had the eclipses too. So that was intense. Then, of course, you have this Mercury retrograde now in Scorpio, which is honestly, compared to those two, a little bit muted. It's not as intense.
Yeah, it's not as intense as the one in Sagittarius last year.
Yeah.
I lost my home that year, and that was a harsh one.
You say you lost your home that year?
Yeah,
Damn.
got thrown out of my apartment.
Oh, wow.
So now, when North Node has been in Cancer, I got home.
There you go. Yeah, North Node in Cancer, it's been connecting us in some way back to our roots and our family, but it's been also, I think ancestors have been coming up a lot. I think they've been
Yeah,
communicating with us a lot more lately, our ancestors. That's why, like, I don't know why, like, of course, people pass on every day, but when big, iconic people, like, since the North Node has been in Cancer, when really big and famous people die, it hits us all a lot harder. It's almost like we're losing a family member. It's like
yeah.
it's crazy. So, but I'm excited for the North Node in Gemini. If people think that they're triggered now
With Jupiter in Capricorn.
with Jupiter and Capricorn too, if people think that they're triggered right now, oh my goodness, there's going to be so much drama and shade when the North Node hits Gemini. But it's
Give
going to be
some
so
predictions. What do you think?
predictions. Well, see,
Yeah, or what will trigger people?
people's beliefs are definitely going to trigger. I mean, just with the South Node and see South Node and Sagittarius is it's people are going to get hyper religious. A lot of people are going to go back to religion because they're going to be uncomfortable with the North Node being in Gemini. They're going to be uncomfortable with Jupiter being in Capricorn. They're going to be
Yeah,
uncomfortable with Chiron being in Aries. So it's like when we get the South Node in Sag, a lot of people are going to start to go back to those things. And then they're going to be like in disbelief that there are other people out there that don't believe in what they believe in. A Gemini is
oh
a
yeah,
mirror. So people are going to literally be mirroring each other like never before. And this is just the North Node in Gemini. This is just preparation for when Uranus eventually reaches here, because they're not going to meet there. They're going to meet when the North Node goes
oh,
into
okay.
Taurus. But all of the themes that we get for the North Node in Gemini, they're going to be brought back up when Uranus reaches that spot. And holy shit, that is going to be a major shift. That's going to be a huge
Yeah,
shift. Yeah. You're going to probably see a lot of new religions come up too. When the North Node hits Gemini, the South Node hits Sag. A lot of new religions. A lot of
yeah,
people are going to, they're going to kind of be like with that Gemini energy. They're going to be a kind of a little idealistic, a little naive, but then someone who's like very calculated is going to be able to manipulate these people. Because people like to think that Scorpio is the ruler of manipulation, but Sagittarius
yeah.
is a really big manipulator. They can
Fact, I have a
like
Sag
a lot of people
X.
are like, "Oh, Scorpio, you guys are a manipulative bunch." I'm like, "Yeah, but y'all don't know anything about Sag. Like Sag is, I would say Sag and Cancer probably are a little bit are more manipulative than Scorpio.
For real.
Or like Scorpio can be, but they're on par with Scorpio. But Sag, you'll get people that start shouting different beliefs, and they can get a whole group of people who are curious but naive, and if they can get them to believe some big thing, you'll probably see a lot more life
prophets,
coaching
fake prophets.
seminars. You're going to see a bunch of people make money overnight because they're life coaches.
Yeah.
But they haven't actually gone through anything. I'm not totally knocking life coaching because some of them have backgrounds in psychology, or maybe they have backgrounds in astrology and stuff, and they've actually been through stuff and actually do help people. You know, but you're going to see a lot more of that, and it's going to be sensationalized. And people are going to give all their money to these people, and like you're starting to see it now, but you're going to see it more. So
now the clock is 11:10.
oh snap!
So it's soon 11:11 p.m. in my time.
Nice.
And I feel that is the perfect time to trigger everyone that is watching this.
Uh-oh, here we go. All right, let me get prepared for this. The floor is yours.
We still have 15 seconds to go.
seconds to go? All right. Oh, I guess you got
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 11:11.
11.
How do you think that people will react to Donald Trump getting reelected in 2020?
Oh, there's going to be a lot of. I keep telling people that he's going to get reelected, and some people are like, "No, don't say that." I'm like, "It's his destiny, guys." Like,
my spirit guide is actually playing a song in my head now.
Yeah.
We didn't start the fire.
That's funny. That's funny. I think I'm gonna just sit back and enjoy watching it just crumble because he's gonna get reelected, and his second term is probably gonna go way better than his first term. He'll probably make a lot of changes, or at the very least, when he's done being president, he's gonna he's gonna make a lot of changes in the world. And people are going to have to be like, but I thought he was an asshole. I thought he was this. And he may turn out to do a lot of good in the world because he's a businessman and he's playing the game. He's playing the field. So do I agree with all this stuff that he's doing? No. I don't agree with all the stuff that I do, but that doesn't mean I hate him or I hate myself. So when he gets reelected, people are going to be pissed. Some people might be so pissed that they want to leave the country. Some people might be like, I don't want to live on this planet anymore. But it's his destiny. He's born on an eclipse. The North Node's going to be in Gemini. Like, he's supposed to. He's supposed to be there whether we like it or not.
And that's also the perfect launch for people to launch new religions.
Exactly. Yeah, you're going to see new religions pop up too.
Yeah. And recently, I believe that Trump hired a spiritual spokeswoman, someone to make sure that he is more connected to religion or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that seems very interesting. Maybe you should try to sway the people with religion.
Yeah. A lot of presidents have their own astrologers.
Yeah.
I think most of them do, just they're not all publicly known. I know JFK's was known. I'm pretty sure he had an astrologer. But yeah, a lot of them, they have astrologers and stuff. Do you feel like astrology has become like a religion now? Or do you think it has the potential to become like a religion?
I think it's a religion in the community.
Yeah.
The astrological community.
Yeah.
The elitist bastards that don't like the new ones.
Yeah.
Because you see all these astrologers going out against astrology apps.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're afraid of an app, you need to get better at your craft, man.
That's true, though. I mean, it needs to evolve as well. I think that's a whole other thing about coming into this new age is that astrology has to evolve as well. So it's like, yeah, I could definitely see how it can be a bit of a religion and stuff.
Yeah, and I got a lot of fixed energy, but I got also Mars conjunct Capricorn. No, Mars conjunct Uranus in Capricorn.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, amazing. Let's take the rules and break it from the inside.
Right.
So
sure.
I create new systems by exploiting the old ones.
By exploiting the old ones.
Yeah.
See, I have Mars conjunct Pluto and my Sun in
Oh,
Scorpio in the 12th house. So it's like I do a lot of my work from my dream state. I do a lot of, and then of course I do have Uranus in Capricorn,
is
and
that
it's
in 12th house?
node. What's up?
Is that in the 12th house?
My Sun, Moon, and my Pluto are in the 12th house.
Oh. And
Yeah, so a
Mars
lot
is
of it's
in 11th?
What's up?
Mars is in 11th?
No, they're all in the 12th house. My
Oh,
12th
okay,
house
cool.
is 8 degrees Scorpio. If you use equal house.
So you are exposing people's subconscious disruption.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, because it's very subconscious, but then like it's almost like I destroy people's like preconceived notions, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And then with the Mars, I tell them, well, you can do something different. This is how you can act on it. And then the Sun is like the gifts, and what I can give to people and stuff. So, but yeah, but I do have my Uranus conjunct the North Node in Capricorn in the second house.
Oh,
So it's
oh, in
like,
second.
yeah, so I feel like I actually am supposed to do this work, but I feel like it may not be in the traditional way. It may not even be in this new way where you see people, they have a YouTube following and then it's like, oh, I have services on this website. It may not even be in that way. I have no idea. I feel like I'm honestly getting thrown a curveball. I'm still going to make videos on YouTube and all that sort of stuff and promote my website and services, but I may not even be doing this work in that fashion. It might be something else. So,
What are you gonna call your new religion?
uh, if I mean, like if
I'm
I
just
had,
waiting for the Church of the Astro Fenixx.
I don't know, if I had a church though, honestly, what we would do, it would be, first of all, I would not be standing on a stage. First of all, it would be like a round table. It'd be a round table, and we can all talk about our experiences. But then there will be like a 30 to 45-minute period where we're just listening to music and dancing. Like that's my church would be. My church would be mostly listening to music and dancing.
Sounds like a plan.
Mostly, yeah, mostly that. Probably throw on some good food there. Might as well, right? And We'll talk about what's going on in our personal lives and everything like that. But it wouldn't be me up on the stage preaching to the people.
Don't say that. I believe that Sagittarius is the sign of the prophet.
It is though, and I am a Sag rising, so I mean.
Oh yeah.
I am Sag rising, and my Mercury's in Sag in the first house, so it just kind of happens. It's because I started doing YouTube like 4 or 5 years ago, but I had different kinds of channels. But it's like, now for me, I don't really get nervous. Sometimes I get like, it's like, all right, I'm about to make the video. But as soon as I turn the camera on, as soon as I click live, I'm just like, my Mercury taps in, my Sag comes out. I'm like, hey. But maybe that's why I typically am more positive than negative.
But that's a good quality.
Yeah, it's a good quality. I think sometimes it frustrates my Pluto and my Mars and my Sun because they're in the 12th house, like knocking on the back doors, like, hey, we have some information for you. But then my Sag rising and Mercury is like, be hopeful. It'll all work out. It's okay. And I generally do believe that and feel that. But then there are times where my Scorpio wants to come out to play.
Yeah, for me, it's my Venus and my Mars are really ambitious. And then my Jupiter is like, hey, we're going on an adventure to Wikipedia.
Right.
4 a.m. in the morning. Yay! What are we searching for today? Gender studies.
So
Woo!
you're Jupiter. Are you Jupiter Virgo as well? Or are you Jupiter
Yeah.
Libra? You Jupiter Virgo too? Yeah.
Virgo, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In the second equal third house, Placidus, I believe.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, Jupiter Virgo for me. Well, in Placidus, it's in my 9th, and equal, it's in my 10th. So I think based off of how Jupiter and Capricorn goes will kind of determine which one I believe in more.
Oh,
I
yeah.
tend to lean more towards equal, which
Yeah,
means
me too.
Jupiter going into Capricorn, which is the natural 10th house, and it's going to be trining my Jupiter. It's going to be pretty nice. Right now, I'm beginning to square, so it's like everyone's been like, "Oh, Jupiter's in Sagittarius. It's at home. Let's go on an adventure." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, that sounds great, but I'm already a Sag. I do this naturally.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait for Jupiter to go into Capricorn, even though it doesn't like to be in Capricorn. I'm like, can Jupiter get into Capricorn? Like, I'm ready for this. My second house is beginning pounded.
Yeah, I'm also curious about. I'm
Yeah.
also curious about Placidus equal because I have Mars and Venus in the 5th house in Capricorn,
Yeah.
and then I have Uranus, Neptune, and Mercury in the 6th house in Capricorn.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I have Mars and Uranus conjunct in separate houses.
Wow.
That's really weird because I can't really pinpoint if it's my creativity or my service because it's kind of intertwined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of the weird ones, like trying to figure out which I use both. I use equal more. Of course, I started off with Placidus. I think honestly, equal makes it easier to understand for most people because of Placidus, you have to remember all the different degree cusp, which I
Yeah.
actually do remember mine. So it's, if I think Placidus, the 1st and 7th house is 8 degrees. 2nd and 8th is what, 9 degrees? Yeah, it's 9 degrees. Then it goes 16. Oh, I don't know my 4th house cusp in Placidus. It's 10th house. Oh, 21, of course, because that's my midhaven. It's 21 degrees Virgo.
Oh, cool.
And then the 5th house cusps are 22. And then the 6th house cusps are 17 degrees. So, but I like equal because they're all the same and it makes things a lot easier. But it does flip some of my energy. Like, so I have Venus in Libra at 8 degrees. But based off of which one you use, it's either in my 10th house or my 11th house. So
Wait, you got Venus in Libra 8 degrees?
it's at 8 degrees. So even if you use equal, it's at 8 degrees, but the solar minutes on the equal pushes it into the 11th house. If it's
Dude,
on Placidus, it's in the 10th house.
dude, I got IC on 8 degrees Libra.
Do you really?
Yeah. So it's
I'm-
like my inner child is connecting to your values or something.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all.
And then I have the midheaven opposite, of course.
Yeah. Wow, that's
8
so
degrees
cool.
Aries, and he's a bastard. He comes out once in a while.
Oh, your IC?
No, my MC.
Your MC, yeah.
Yeah, he's a savage. Aries.
Aries. Oh, Aries. That's actually kind of nice though. Aries rising because Mars is exalted in Capricorn.
Not Aries rising, but Aries midheaven.
That's what I meant. Yeah, Midhaven. Well, because
Yeah.
Mars, the ruler of Aries, naturally is exalted in the 10th house. So it's like
Yeah, true.
to have that Aries Midhaven, it's like it makes you super ambitious. It's like probably also
Yeah.
make like it might also be hard for you to focus on one project though. Like you may flip a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's also like I feel that my midheaven takes charge.
Yeah.
My Leo rising is trying to appear normal to the audience watching, and then my Scorpio moon is on the backhand doing all the behind the scenes stuff.
Mhm.
And then we just ignore the Aquarius because he's crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah, he's just. I view my Aquarius sun as a crazy scientist, but not a mad one, not a negative, like a positive.
Yeah.
He invents a lot of crazy stuff, but nothing that is usable in this world.
That nothing that is usable in this world yet.
Yeah.
But yes, I can definitely see that. Real quick though, I did want to show some people something, and I'm gonna share my screen because I thought this was very interesting. But it's about this Mercury retrograde that we have, which just conjuncted the sun earlier today. They conjuncted at 18 degrees. So, and then of course, we're coming into this full moon in Taurus, but whenever the sun and Mercury cross, it's like our hearts and our creativity and our mind are finally getting on the same page. But since Mercury is going backwards, it's like Mercury told the sun, like, hey, you might want to keep an eye out for all these other things that you're about to experience, So it's like, but Mercury still has to go back and like figure some things out. So we just had that transit, but I thought it was interesting, and I want to show you all real fast. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Let's see. And I kind of want to see like what do you make of this? Because all right, so let me go back to when it actually happened. So yeah, that's the sun and Mercury conjuncting at 18 degrees, and now this happens somewhat frequently, whatever like that, right?
Yeah.
But what makes this rare is the whole Jupiter aspect, the fact that Jupiter is in Sagittarius while we're getting this energy. So because a lot of times I like to look at astrology as like, oh, we think about the houses and everything like that, but I also like to think of it as the sun is in the 12th house to Jupiter. So it's like, there's like this big focus on Jupiter right now. It's at home. But like if you want to look at things almost kind of from Jupiter's perspective, the sun is in the 12th house to Jupiter. So like that's like this whole this unconscious, subconscious, like spiritual, like we're like finally kind of getting on the same page, sort of, but Mercury's going backwards. But look at the last time, I'm going to show you guys here in a moment, but the last time that we had the sun and Mercury conjunct while Jupiter was in Sag, this is like crazy. Like when I saw this, let me bring this back. The last time that this happened. Let's go back a few. So I want to say, I hope I'm in the right year. I don't know if I'm in the right year actually. Let's see. Let me go back one more. I should have wrote it down actually, but
you learn and you live.
Yeah, let's all right. Let's go forward a year.
You found a Mercury Venus conjunction though.
Let's see. If I go forward a month, because what was interesting was that okay, I think I'm actually getting closer to it now. Because Mercury is going to retrograde. All right, so Mercury retrograded at 8 degrees. So this is back in 2007. This is the last time that the Sun and Mercury met in Scorpio. It's like right on the edge of it, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened to it? Oh, I went back a year for some reason. I was supposed to do that. Let's see if I can. All right, so yeah. They met at 0 degrees. Yeah, so there's a couple of things here I want to point out to you guys. So they were at 0 degrees of Scorpio the last time that Jupiter was in Sagittarius. Pluto is where Jupiter is right now. Like Jupiter right now is at 25, 26 degrees of Sagittarius. Pluto was there right now. This is the last time that they crossed while Jupiter was here. Look where Mars is at. Mars is at 9 degrees of Cancer.
Which is where North Node is now.
Which is where the North Node is right now. Exactly. That's crazy. When I saw that, I was like, what? That is intense.
And let's see.
And then, yeah, the North Node, that's where it is right now.
And Uranus is where Neptune is now.
So that was what, 2007? 2007 when that happened. So let's see, go back a bit.
You should just copy paste that date.
I should just copy paste it, right? So look at that. 12.1 years ago. Yeah. So I just thought that was crazy how the North Node is where Mars was. So I felt like literally everything that we've done over the past 12 years was this decision that we made. And now like the North Node is showing us like how our lives have come of it. Like it really is a destiny point. So like when this happened, you know, and the North Node was opposed Saturn. Like what?
See, I told you the year is divided in 6.
Yeah. So that's crazy.
12 years.
So like,
is Uranus at 16 degrees Pisces?
Yeah, that's
the same as Neptune is now. Dang.
That's where Neptune is right now. There are so many things that line up here. It's ridiculous. There's so many things that line up here.
I also believe that the twin flame reactivation on the Scorpio moon in July was at 18 degrees as well.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, I believe so.
The July of this year?
Yeah, check that. I think it was 11th of July.
11th of July. Oh, you say the twin flame activation was around this time?
Yeah.
We have a grand water trine. Venus was in, Venus was in Cancer. There's a grand water trine, North Node and the Sun.
Is Venus on 9 degrees as well?
Yeah, Venus is on 9 degrees as well.
Oh, dang.
Oh, wow. Dang, dude.
Because that was one on the eclipses was, I believe, wasn't it? At least close to it.
It's close to the eclipse. It's a few days literally before the eclipse, because the eclipse was literally just 5 days later.
Oh, dang.
The 11th. And Venus was where Mars was at that point. And now that the North Node is here, it's like everything that's happened over the past 12 years was absolutely destiny. Like we agreed to do those things.
Yeah.
But now that we have this crossover now with the Sun and Mercury and Scorpio, but it's at a much higher degree. It's at 18 degrees, which ironically is trining Neptune. And the moon is right here too. Like this is a huge fated moment. So that's why this week in particular, and especially coming, of course, we have the full moon coming up. Which what degree is it at? I want to say it's actually it's actually at 19 degrees as well.
Oh, damn.
I want to say the full moon's at 19 degrees. Yeah, it is. Yep, it's at 19 degrees.
Oh, sweet. And it's opposite the Sun at 19 degrees.
Yeah, 19 degrees. Mercury's going to be involved as well. Yeah. But when I saw that Mars was in that spot, the last time that we had that crossover, that Mars is where the North Node is right now, I was like, wow, so this really is all fated. Like there are no hiccups in astrology, but what's cool about it is that it is what it is. And yeah, I guess you can kind of interpret it in different ways, but it is what it is. There are no hiccups. And
yeah, and you know what is also? The Mercury at 17 degrees is actually sextiling my Neptune at 17 degrees in Capricorn.
Oh, is it? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lots of synchronicities.
This is an incredible week, guys. A lot of change is happening this week. A lot of transformation. But this full moon, the moon loves to be in Taurus too. It's at home there. It's exalted there. I mean, so it really loves to be there. But with Mercury involved too, there's going to be like this major release, I feel, of a lot of these thoughts when it comes to the Scorpio energy. A lot of these darker thoughts. Like sometimes sometimes I feel bad for having darker thoughts, but then like I feel like this full moon is going to help to release a lot of that. I think the full moon is going to help people release a lot of this negativity, like the negative side of Scorpio.
Yeah.
Where it's just like it'll cut people off with like without warning or without any kind of mercy or compassion. But this is actually going to help for us to release that, and not that you have to hang around these people forever with these situations, but at least have a little more compassion about it. That's why the North Node's here. So, and of course, Mars is sextiling Jupiter too. So I mean,
Nice.
It's all coming together, guys. It's all coming together.
But I got a question for you, Master Astrologer Astro Fenixx.
What's up?
I got intercepted Gemini and Sagittarius.
You got what?
Interception on Gemini Sagittarius.
Oh, okay.
How will that affect the North Node and South Node entering? It's 11th Gemini and 5th Sag, I believe.
You said how... Wait, repeat your question. You said the North Node in Gemini and South Node in Sag?
Yeah, how will it affect me since I don't have those houses?
Oh, you don't have those energies or placements?
Yeah.
Well, I think generally when a planet transits a sign where we don't have planets, we usually see it manifest through other people first. Like, okay. For example, for me, I don't have any Gemini energy either. So a lot of times the themes of Gemini will manifest through other people. So my fiance, she's a Gemini rising. I know quite a few Geminis actually. So it's like, I think it manifests through other people first. So for you, North Node is Gemini, you're going to definitely be wanting to connect with new people and stuff like that. But people who are also nuanced in their beliefs. I think that
makes sense.
Because you gotta think about it, it's like you can meet someone, but they may not be nuanced in their beliefs. They may feel like, their way is the only way, but how you can still have a position and you can still have a conversation with someone and even have a debate, but still have respect for the other person. That seems like a foreign thing to people. How it's like we can disagree with each other, but we can still get along. You know what I mean? That's what it means to have like a nuanced opinion. So it's like it's okay to disagree with people, but don't be like, oh, well, we just can't absolutely hang out. That's one thing I think in the spiritual community that needs to happen. Is like I feel like people, it's like, oh, if you're not vegan, if you don't do yoga, if you don't meditate for 10 hours a day, or if you don't do this, then you're not spiritual. I don't want to talk to you. You're toxic. You're what's the other word? What's the word?
Unclean.
Huh?
Unclean.
Unclean. That's not the word I'm looking for.
Dirty.
It's what's the word, dude? Being dirty is fun sometimes. Not patronizing. It's the word that everyone throws around. Narcissistic. That's what it is. You're narcissistic.
I know. My psychiatrist said it too.
I'm like, everyone has a little bit of narcissism in them. It's like everyone has a little bit of everything in them.
Yeah.
What connects us all. But yeah, I think for you, it's like you're really going to be looking for people who have nuanced opinions, maybe even people that you disagree with, but they won't just try and automatically cut you off or try and influence you with their beliefs. I think that's an important thing.
That's amazing because I plan to go to the US at that time.
Yes. Oh, it's going to be fun, dude. You come to the US.
It's an adventure. South Node and Sagittarius. Yay.
It's definitely an adventure. That's another thing. I thought I was going to go on big adventures when Jupiter hit Sag, but it's been more like a adventure exploring who I am personally. That's what's going on because my first house. My ninth house is Leo, and the North Node was there, but I didn't really. Well, no, wait, no. I think I was in Colorado for some of that time, actually. I was out there for some of the Virgo and for some of the Leo time. So I kind of did travel a bit. I didn't travel in the way that I thought I was going to. I think that frustrated me. But over the past year, it's been really about exploring myself and who I am. So
what is really funny is that I left home last time when North Node was in Sagittarius and South Node in Gemini.
really,
Yeah.
wow.
So it's like I'm leaving for a different kind of adventure than last time.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, that's gonna be great. When you come, we're gonna have to collaborate and like,
Oh yeah.
it's. I know there are some people here in where I live in the United States that are in the community, but I'm trying to get us more together and more as a cohesive group because a lot of us are kind of like spread out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get like a more cohesive group going on here and outside of Atlanta, Georgia, down here with all the country folk and stuff. It's funny,
Man,
people, like,
the world needs your church. Start
yeah.
it.
But
If you want a church of Astro Fenixx, put a 1 in the comments.
right, put a 1 in the comments. Want a church of Astro Fenixx.
Tomorrow, just 1,000 ones.
Right. That would be crazy. I never really saw myself as doing that. I saw myself as, when I was younger, I just wanted to explore the world and see other things and stuff. And I haven't quite gotten the opportunity to do that, or I haven't created the opportunity to do that. But I don't doubt that it will never happen. I know it will, but there's a lot of work to be done still here. And there's a lot of places I haven't even seen here in America. I've never even been to New York. So
let's rent the bus.
I know, right? I've never even been to New York. I've been to Cali a handful of times, Colorado, of course, Tennessee, Florida. I've been to some places. I still got to go to Hawaii. Still got to make it up to Alaska. There's a lot of places there's a lot of traveling I got to do here. So maybe that's what I'll shift my focus towards.
Let us just rent a bus and just go around picking up people and have a huge party.
That'd be so fun. Just run a bus, grab a bunch of people, and we're just traveling around and just.
And then we're creating our own festival or something.
Yeah, I've thought about having like my own festival and stuff. Like I already know what kind of artists I would want to play there and stuff. But it would just be like, essentially just like, I don't know what I would call it. I don't know what I'd call it. I mean, the first thing that came to mind was Radiate Love. It sounds cheesy, but
Astrocon.
Astrocon. That's probably
most generic name ever.
Huh?
Most generic name ever.
Most generic name ever.
Astrocon. But it will attract so many normies.
I know. I do think astrology over the next 4 to 5 years is going to become more popularized, but I think it's going to be, for some people, it's going to be a bit of a trap because I think they're going to feel like they know astrology, but they're getting sensationalized versions of it and stuff. But there's going to be a lot of money that's going to get poured into the industry over the next 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, I don't know if I linked the article, but all the big astrology apps right now, they are getting invested by people at Wall Street.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember you sending that to me, and I'm like, that's really interesting, and I think it's a good thing, but I think it also can be dangerous because it's like, it's good for the exposure, but it's also going to be like, I mean, like I said, there are some good astrology apps out there that I have used and stuff, but I feel like some of these other apps are going to pop up, are going to be very like glamour, sensationalized, almost Hollywood-esque.
Yeah.
And people are going to be checking like their horoscopes, whatever like that. And it's going to be so vague, and they're not really going to know what exactly it is. They're not going to say, oh, Mercury is on top of the moon right now, or, oh, the moon is transiting my 7th house, so There's going to be relationship themes on these couple of days, but they're not going to know that. It's going to be like something you get out of like a fortune cookie, you know, and people are going to be like, it's almost going to become like a fix or a high for them. It's going to be like, I got to get a fix. And I'm like,
But
no, that's not what it's about. Astrology is like for me anyways, it's a lifelong study and commitment. You know, it's like something I'm studying every day. I'm learning something new every day. It's not just horoscopes. It's not just, oh, Scorpio and Pisces are compatible and Scorpio and Aquarius aren't compatible. People are going to be using it as like, oh, I shouldn't date this person, but you never know. Like a lot of people I know have squaring energies. A lot of them are squaring energies.
I saw some posting the other day saying that astrology should be sacred. And I'm like, yeah, you're trying to wake up the masses and keep astrology secret?
This said it should be a secret or sacred? You said a secret?
Sacred. I believe that the sacredness, it's sort of like you keep it away from the public, only for the elite. So it's almost secrecy.
Right, it's almost secrecy, yeah.
You wanna give people the hand, but not give them the whole of you.
Exactly. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. I mean, like,
you can have a finger, and if you pay $9.99 a month, you're gonna get a finger more.
I think everyone should at least know their sun, moon, and rising, and they should probably know their Venus and their Mars. Everyone should know those at least. Like, I should be able to I feel like I should be able to walk up to a random stranger on the street, and they should know what their moon sign is. You know, I feel like that's the kind of like, I feel like we're not going to eliminate all of our problems by more people knowing astrology, but I feel like we will definitely be able to see our tendencies and our patterns. It's pattern recognition because astrology is patterns in geometry, and humans, we're supposed to be good at pattern recognition, but sometimes we suck at it because we repeat our same mistakes. That's why I love astrology, because it's a very good tool for pattern recognition. So it's like, people will be like, why are people being so crazy today? Oh, probably because the moon just transited from Gemini into Cancer, or something weird like that would be happening.
Yeah, but then you can have like, oh, sorry for ruining your car. It was Mercury retrograde. Not my fault.
Oh yeah, people have been doing people, even if you're not into astrology, people know about Mercury retrograde now.
Yeah.
Sort of like, it's almost sort of losing its like.
Oh no, sorry for cheating on your best friend. It's Scorpio season.
I know, right? So people start to use it to like substantiate why they do certain things, but you don't necessarily have to. It's like, just because it's Libra season doesn't mean that you have to get into a relationship, or just because it's Capricorn season doesn't mean that you have to start a business. But the energy is good for those things, but doesn't mean that you have to.
Yeah,
I definitely get that.
But also something that people that don't believe in astrology. The sun was barely 1 degree into Libra, and Trump got into court case.
Yeah.
The whole what is called impeachment happening when Mars in Libra.
Yeah, Mars in Libra. It's going to go into Scorpio, and things are probably going to get swept under the rug.
Or maybe we'll get another Hollywood scandal.
Probably.
More actors using kids.
Yeah, we haven't had something to distract people, actually. So we're kind of overdue for another distraction, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I was so disappointed about the Area 51.
I knew that was going to happen. It's a little disappointing, though, because they built it up, but then, it was just a total flop. I'm not surprised, but... And that's another thing, there are some people out there that really legitimately don't believe in aliens, and I'm like, you're fucking stupid. Sorry, that's one thing I won't hesitate to say, you're stupid if you think that there are no aliens. They may not be... Your perception of aliens is a physically incarnated being with a large head and big eyes. I mean, that might exist, but it's more of like a trans-dimensional being. And of course, you have Aquarius is here. Y'all are aliens. Shoot, Aquarius and Aquarius moons. I get it. Like,
Yeah, and also this what is called Astro Command.
yeah.
You see the videos on YouTube. I totally believe it's real, but I don't believe it's an elf. I don't believe the alien look human-like.
No, I don't think they do.
It probably has tentacles and everything, and just disguise itself as a human to
Well, they have the
get and
technology,
trust.
so they
Yeah,
disguise themselves. But yeah. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I love all that stuff. I think that
yeah.
aliens are certainly real. I mean, I like, you know, some of my guys probably are. So, I mean, like, I know I'm married to one. She just hasn't revealed her true form to me yet. But I know,
Oh,
well, she's an Aquarius sun, but she's also a Taurus moon. So I feel like she's
yeah,
an
true.
alien that has been on Earth for a while. She was like one of the first ones that came here, you know. But I'm Pisces moon, so I feel like I am definitely from another dimension. Like I haven't been to Earth too many times.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like I'm living in 2050, and I have to not play stupid, but I have to slow down my brain to understand what we are going through now.
right.
Because it's like everything is so inefficient for me. I'm gonna give you a great example. And if some business people are watching this, feel free to steal my ID. It will make you a billionaire. Free ID. Why can't you open a school book, press refresh, and the whole shit updates?
Mm.
And why can't you connect headphones to a book and have the audio version read for you, so you don't have to read? And all the pictures could be videos. Like you can get and on and on and on. The books are just the most primitive stuff ever. It's no point in having books with pages in 2019.
I can as a writer, a part of me really enjoys buying a book and opening it up. But admittedly, I haven't been reading as much lately. But
Oh
for the
yeah, but do
learning,
you
that makes sense.
but do you need to have it could be just thin computer paper.
No, I get that. No, that makes sense though. I'm just that probably actually will be a technology soon where
Yeah.
there will actually be computer screens that are like paper, like thin. But
I
then
think they actually got it in China. I've seen some online.
really,
Yeah, it's paper flyers and everything is it's transparent,
yeah,
and it's also with videos and stuff, and yeah.
that's actually a good idea because a lot of these books certainly aren't updated, but they don't want to update the books because they want to keep the kids stupid and dumb.
Yeah, in I think it was in Nature Science in 2000 or something. No, Nature Science 2001, 2002. Then it
Mhm.
said that the next eclipse will happen in 2000.
What?
Yeah, in the book, because the book was from 1997.
Oh God.
So it said the next eclipse is there, and we were reading about it as something that happened in the future, but it was the past.
You know what's funny too is like growing up, whenever I heard the word eclipse, I thought it was like this super rare event that only ever happened so many other years, whatever like that. But then when I got into astrology, I'm like, oh, we get eclipses every year. They're
Yeah.
still rare and they're still big events. But when I got into astrology, I was like, wait, eclipses happen every year? I didn't know that. I legitimately did not know that. It was crazy. And I was like, I thought it was something that was like a big thing when it happened. But I guess it's because like being able to view the actual eclipse that happens in different parts of the world. So um, we had like the Great American Eclipse last year. Was it last year or the year before? When it was in Leo, it was here, the Great American Eclipse. But yeah, we get eclipses every year. We're about to the next eclipse cycle is when all this energy goes into Capricorn. So
Yeah.
that's going to be fun. I think it's going to be at 4 degrees, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, breakdown, breakthrough. That's gonna be because 4, it's an energy of stabilization, but also like breaking things down too. It's like it's a revolutionary number. It's ruled by Uranus. I believe it's at 4 degrees. Don't quote me on that, guys. I'm actually gonna look it up really quick just to make
Con-
sure that I'm not.
Conjuncting both my Venus and my North Node. Oh yeah.
I want to say it's. Actually, it looks like, oh crap, that's it's not worse. It's at 8 degrees. Hold on, wait, let me see. Yeah, so the solar eclipse. Okay, yeah, so the solar eclipse is at 4 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah, the solar eclipse at 4 degrees, and looks like the lunar eclipse will be at. Oh my goodness, it's at 19 degrees.
Ooh.
And Saturn and Pluto will be conjuncting each other. Oh man.
And that is, let's say, that is Saturn.
Jupiter will be on the south node.
Yeah, I'm just trying to check which decan it is. It is in the third, isn't it?
It's in the third decan, yeah.
Yeah.
The lunar eclipses.
Normal people in astrology believe that the third decan is Mercury.
I thought it differentiated between what sign you were in, though.
Yeah, but I think it's in it's Saturn the first, then it's Venus, then it's Mercury.
Oh, okay.
But I believe that Virgo is not ruled by Mercury. I believe it's ruled by Chiron.
Same.
So I think
Same.
we're gonna have a huge solar eclipse.
I think Mercury likes to be in Virgo, but I think
Yeah.
I think the issue with that rulership is you'll get mentally caught up on all the details, and if things don't go according to plan, then it can really mentally frustrate you. But I think Chiron being there makes a lot more sense because Chiron is it's kind of like trial and error, and you know Virgo is about kind of like being and becoming, and it is sort of like manifestation, but because it's mutable, like I think for me, I think Chiron ruling Virgo makes just more sense because I think it allows you to actually experiment and stuff. And I feel like Mercury and Virgo will just be so obsessed with the facts.
Yeah.
It'll be so obsessed with the facts, and then it'll try and implement those facts as truth, and then that's where you begin to kind of fuck up and shit. So,
yeah. And something else too. I just realized. Something I've said. I read it online and I felt that it resonated with me. Is that Gaia, Earth, is actually the ruler of Taurus instead
Gaia,
of Venus.
yes, yeah, how our Gaia or the Earth rules Taurus. That's another one that no
and
one.
now Sun is in Scorpio, so that means that Earth is in Taurus.
Yeah, Earth is in its home sign right now.
And this month was the month that Mr. Beast had a "Let's plant 20 million trees" challenge.
That's right. No, you're right. I wonder what his chart looks like now that I'm thinking about it. But
I believe he's Gen Z, born in '98.
Okay. Wow, that's actually true though. Yeah, so the Earth right now is currently so do you think it's actually opposite the sun? Because I've heard a couple interpretations. I've heard that the Earth is opposite of where the sun is, or it's the degree that brings it to a hole. So it's like it's either 19 degrees or it's 11 degrees. So then it comes to 30. I think it makes more sense for it to just be opposite, but
I think it's opposite.
Yeah.
On what is called geocentrical
model.
Yeah. I'm currently creating my own system.
Okay.
And that is heliocentric.
Okay.
So the sun is in the middle, and then you will have Earth and Moon conjunct all the time, I believe, because it's always going around each other or something. Haven't completely figured out that yet.
Interesting. I like that though. I think because if you did that, so like the Earth is in Taurus right now at 19 degrees.
Or maybe it would always follow the Moon. I'm not sure about it.
Well, because the Earth would only move a degree a day if it's opposite the Sun, but the
Yeah.
Moon would continue to move fast. So you would be able to determine a new moon would actually be when the Moon is opposing the Earth.
Oh yeah.
Right? That
Yeah.
would be a new moon when the Moon's actually opposing the Earth.
Oh because Earth is taking the place of the Sun.
Yeah, essentially.
Or maybe call us a life sign or whatever. I'm sure.
That's pretty cool. I'm actually gonna look into that myself and stuff.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm actually probably gotta go. I know my wife just got here, and I think we're about to eat dinner and stuff like that.
Dude,
But
we've been online for 2 hours or something, so
yeah, we've been online for a while. So
thank you for having me.
oh, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. This has been very fun. We're gonna have to do a lot more of these. As you can see, guys, we just kind of bounce off of each other, and nothing is safe. We will talk about anything.
Yeah.
Nothing is safe. We got a little political in this talk, talked about some astrology, went deep on some things. And you have any final thoughts about, the Scorpio season and, I guess the full moon that we have coming up?
Yeah. I believe the full moon is a manifestation of the new moon.
Mm-hmm.
But not the new moon in Scorpio. The new moon in Taurus.
Right.
So whatever you did in May, it's time to get your reward because the universe is ready to just show money in your face.
That's awesome. I love how you said that because I think a lot of times people feel like the full moon is a manifestation of the most recent new moon, but that's not the case. Actually,
and
you have to go back 6 months.
Yeah, and it's also like, why would you only have a manifestation for the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, it doesn't really work that way.
No.
Yeah, it takes about 6 months for things to really begin to manifest. So
yeah,
I love that.
And also something I came over last year, I believe. So I heard that whatever you plant in January becomes the seed that you can harvest during October.
Mm-hmm.
But also the devil is harvesting souls in Scorpio season.
Oh.
So whatever you planted in January, maybe you can harvest some souls as well.
Wow. Oh wow, that's interesting. Whatever you plant in, so that'd be Capricorn season, and then you start the harvest with Libra season in the fall. So
yeah,
that's the squaring energy. So it's pretty interesting too.
And if you sort of translate it to tarot, so October would then be 7 of Pentacles, I believe.
I think so.
If that makes sense. And then you have 8 of Pentacles. We are working like hell now. 9 of Pentacles, stability in Sagittarius season. And then it's payday in Capricorn. Christmas.
Capricorn. Yeah, that's true. So
Merry Christmas, guys.
What's up?
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas. Ryan Sage, this podcast has gotten kind of long, but in the next video we'll talk about the 12 signs. I didn't miss your comments or anything. It's getting kind of long, and it's getting late on his end, and I'm about to go eat. So But we will do another video where we talk about the 12 signs and stuff like that. So
And also, Astro Fenixx is gonna have lots of videos on his YouTube. So very soon you can find all 12 signs there.
that's true. That is true. You see, holding me accountable. I've been meaning to do that anyways. You got to have an accountability partner, guys. Get yourself an accountability partner. But we're going to stop it right there. But we really definitely appreciate you all tuning in. If you happen to stay for the whole 2 hours, thank you. Like, that's amazing.
If you stayed for 2 hours, leave a bat emoji in the comment section.
Right. Leave a what in the comment section?
A bat emoji.
A bat emoji. Peace out, Ryan Sage. But yeah, if you happen to stay for the whole 2 hours, leave a bat emoji in the comment section.
Because then we can see who's true fans.
Yeah. But thank you all so much for joining, and we will definitely be coming back for another video. And yeah, super exciting. Y'all stay blessed. Have a great evening, day, or wherever you are in the world. Y'all take care.
Bye.
Peace.